Coach called starters, one name, then another, then another. Each announcement echoed through the packed gym like a judgment. My name never came. The crowd roared anyway, parents cheering, teammates slapping hands. The sound washed over me like I was invisible, like I wasn't even sitting there. Coach leaned toward the scorer's table where everyone could hear him. His voice was loud, deliberate. "She's got an attitude problem. That's why she's sitting tonight." My mom laughed, with the booster moms in the bleachers behind me. That high, performative laugh that meant she agreed with whatever made her look good. My stepdad nodded from his seat. Like this was overdue. Like he'd been waiting for someone in authority to finally put me in my place. My hands shook in my lap. I pressed them together, trying to stop the trembling, trying to look calm when everything inside me was screaming. Then I looked up, scanned the crowd out of habit, and I saw him. A man in a navy jacket with a college logo stitched on the chest. Sitting 3 rows up, holding a small notebook. He wasn't watching the court. He was watching me. I followed the man's gaze, trying to figure out what he was seeing. He wasn't watching our star guard warming up. Wasn't tracking the starters running plays. He was watching the bench. Like it was the real game. Like something important was happening right here in the shadows. Coach's eyes darted toward him, then away. Quick, nervous. Like he knew someone was paying attention he hadn't counted on. My sister sat 2 seats away from my parents, close enough to be part of the family photo, but not close enough to be associated with me. She straightened her posture suddenly, smoothed her hair, like she'd been trained her whole life to be ready for cameras that might turn her direction. The man in the navy jacket closed his notebook, slowly, deliberately. Then he stood, started making his way down the bleachers, not toward the court. Toward us, toward the bench where I sat trying not to exist. My heart pounded, not from hope, from the certainty that whatever was about to happen, Coach wasn't going to like it. My name is Harper Weller. I'm 27 years old. Most mornings I work at a physical rehab clinic helping people recover from injuries. Then I run to practice, eat dinner in my car between sessions, pretend I'm not exhausted. Basketball is the only place I ever felt chosen, the only space where effort meant something, where showing up mattered. Tonight, I wasn't just benched. I was labeled, marked as a problem in front of everyone who mattered. I'd been grinding for years to get noticed, to prove I still had something left, to earn a chance at playing at the next level, and Coach had just told a gym full of scouts and parents that I had an attitude problem. Not that I was injured, not that I needed rest, that my character was flawed. I felt Coach's hand clamp down on my shoulder from behind. His fingers dug in, not friendly, not reassuring, a warning. "Sit still," he hissed near my ear. "Smile, don't make this a thing." I swallowed my anger because I knew that's what he wanted. A scene, a reaction, proof that his label was accurate. On the court, my replacement missed 2 defensive rotations in a row. Coach didn't even flinch. My phone buzzed in my pocket, a text from my mom. "Stop pouting." Coach's grip tightened on my shoulder for just a second before he let go. The message was clear. Sit, stay quiet, don't embarrass him. I watched my replacement, a younger player, hungry, eager to please, get burned on defense again. The other team scored easily. Coach clapped his hands. "Good hustle. Keep it up." Good hustle. For missing an assignment I would have made in my sleep. I kept my face neutral, kept my hands folded, played the part of the obedient player accepting her punishment. But inside, rage was building like pressure in a closed system. On the court, our team struggled. Passes went to the wrong spots. Defensive rotations broke down. We were only up by 3 points against a team we should have been destroying. Coach paced the sideline, shouting instructions, never once looking at me, never considering putting me in to fix what was breaking. My phone was still in my pocket. I could feel it, that text from my mom burning through the fabric. Stop pouting. Like my devastation was vanity. Like being publicly humiliated by my coach was something I should smile through, gracefully. At halftime, I stayed on the bench while the team headed to the locker room. My mom didn't come down from the booster section, didn't check on me, didn't ask if I was okay. She stayed up there, laughing with the other mothers, enjoying the view from inside their approval. My stepdad appeared near the tunnel talking to Coach. They were laughing about something, shaking hands like old friends celebrating a shared victory. My sister slipped past me on her way to the water fountain. I tried to catch her eye. She looked away. Wouldn't acknowledge me. I sat alone in the empty gym with the scoreboard humming above me and the smell of sweat and floor wax filling my lungs. Through the echo of the gym, I heard my mom's voice, loud enough to carry. If Harper would just cooperate, this would all be easier. Cooperate. That's what they called it, when you shut up and accepted whatever people in power decided for you. I looked up at the man in the navy jacket. He was still there. Still watching. Still taking notes. Like he saw something everyone else was missing. A week ago, Coach had called me into his office. The room smelled like old coffee and the ego of a man who'd been in charge too long. "You're too intense," he'd said, not looking at me. Shuffling papers on his desk like I was a minor interruption. Too intense. Translation, I didn't let him talk to me like I was lucky to exist, like I should be grateful just to be on the team. I'd asked for clarity. For honest feedback about my playing time. For actual coaching instead of vague criticisms. He'd smiled. That condescending smile men give women who ask direct questions. There's that attitude. Back in the present, the man in the navy jacket moved closer. His shadow fell across my feet like a line being drawn. I looked up. He was standing right there, close enough that I could see the pen mark on his thumb, the college logo on his jacket up close. His voice was calm. "Professional. Why did he bench you?" My mouth opened. But before I could speak, Coach appeared instantly, laughing too loud, too forced, like a man trying to drown out truth before it could be spoken. Coach positioned himself between me and the scout. His body language was aggressive, territorial. "Just team discipline," Coach said, his voice booming with false authority. "She's emotional. You know how it is." Emotional. The word they use when a woman is direct. When she asks questions, when she refuses to accept disrespect with a smile. My mom's voice called down from the bleachers. "We're working on it." Like she was proud. Like she was part of the coaching staff. Part of the solution to the problem that was me. The scout, I could see his name tag now, Mr. Grady, didn't look up at Coach. Didn't acknowledge my mother's performance. He kept his eyes on me. "Can I speak to her after the game?" he asked. Not to Coach. To me. Coach's jaw tightened. "I don't think that's—" "I'm asking her," Mr. Grady interrupted gently. "Not you." The gym felt suddenly quiet despite all the noise, like the world had narrowed to just this moment, this question, this choice about whether I had permission to speak for myself. Coach tried to recover his authority. "Well, if you want to talk basketball, I can give you her stats, her background. I can read stats," Mr. Grady said. His voice was still calm, still professional. But there was steel underneath. "I'm asking why she's benched for attitude when her performance numbers are solid." My mom started climbing down from the bleachers, moving into position, ready to perform whatever role would make her look best. Coach's smile was strained now. "Look, between you and me, she questions everything, doesn't trust the system, creates tension in the locker room." "She asks questions," Mr. Grady repeated. "And that's a problem." "It's about respect," Coach said. Mr. Grady finally looked directly at Coach. His expression was unreadable, professional, but I could see the assessment happening behind his eyes. "Can I speak to her after the game?" he asked again. Coach opened his mouth, closed it, realized he couldn't actually say no without making it worse. "Fine," Coach said. Like he was granting permission, he didn't actually have the authority to deny. The second half was brutal. We won by 4 points. Barely. The kind of win that feels like a loss. The team hugged in a circle at center court. I was still on the bench, an afterthought, a problem that had been managed successfully. My sister ran to my mom first. My mom squeezed her tight, like she just won the championship, like my sister had been the star instead of sitting on the bench for most of the game too. Coach scanned the gym, looking for the scout, calculating his next move. I saw Mr. Grady standing near the exit. Patient, like he had all night, like he wasn't going anywhere until he got what he came for. My stepdad appeared beside me as I was gathering my things. His smile was the kind meant to wound while looking friendly. "Maybe this is your sign," he said. "You're too old to be chasing dreams. Time to be practical." He'd always wanted me small, grateful, focused on a safe career that didn't threaten anyone. My mom joined him. "Don't ruin this for your sister. She's got momentum now." Momentum. Built on what? On me being pushed out of the way, my sister appeared behind them. Her voice was soft, almost apologetic, but not quite. Maybe I should talk to him instead. The gym was clearing out. Parents collecting their kids, players heading to cars, the normal rhythm of post-game dispersal. Mr. Grady waited by the exit like he'd said, checking his phone, not rushing, not leaving. I started walking toward him. My mom's hand caught my elbow. "Harper, don't embarrass us," she hissed. "You don't even know what he wants. He wants to talk to me. He probably just wants information, background. He's being polite." She smiled at Mr. Grady across the gym, waved, like they were old friends. My stepdad positioned himself in my path. "Maybe let your sister handle this. She's better with people." Better with people, meaning more willing to say what people wanted to hear. More willing to perform gratitude and deference. Mr. Grady approached us. Extended his hand to me first, not to my mom, not to my stepdad. "Mr. Grady, assistant recruiter, I'd like to watch your next practice if that's possible." My mom's smile froze. The performance glitching for just a second. Coach appeared from nowhere. "That won't be necessary. We've got a full schedule, very closed practices." Mr. Grady's expression didn't change. "I'm sure we can work something out." The next day at practice felt like walking into an ambush. Coach's smile was too wide, too friendly. "All right, Harper's here. Let's run some drills." He set up rotations designed to make me fail. Awkward defensive switches, last-second offensive adjustments, impossible timing that required reading his mind instead of following standard plays. If I spoke up, asked for clarification, it would be labeled attitude. If I stayed quiet and failed, it would be proof I wasn't good enough. Teammates glanced at me like I was contagious, like whatever coach had marked me with might spread to them if they got too close. I ran the drills anyway, kept my mouth shut, made the best of impossible situations. Coach blew his whistle. The sharp sound echoed through the gym. "All right, everyone listen up. Harper's running with second squad until further notice." Second squad, the practice team. The players who existed to make the starters look good, not because of performance, because of attitude. My sister was on first squad. I watched her avoid my eyes as she lined up with the starters. At dinner that night, my mom set the table like we were having a normal family meal. Like nothing had happened. "If you were more pleasant," she said, passing the salad, "adults would help you. You make things harder than they need to be." My stepdad nodded, cut his chicken with aggressive precision. "You're not a kid anymore, Harper. Nobody owes you playing time. Nobody owes you anything." My sister sat across from me, silent, pushing food around her plate. "People are watching you," my mom continued, "judging our whole family based on how you act. Do you understand that?" I understood perfectly. I was supposed to shrink so they could shine, supposed to fail quietly so my sister's success looked brighter by comparison. My mom slid a flyer across the table, a scholarship showcase. 3 weeks away. The kind of event where scouts came to find hidden talent. My sister's name was already on the sign-up line. In my mom's handwriting, my name wasn't on there at all. "We thought it would be better if your sister focused on this," my mom said. "Less pressure on you, less conflict." At the rehab clinic the next morning, my supervisor called me into her office. Her expression was careful, professional. "Harper, we need to talk about your schedule. You've been asking for flexibility, but we're noticing it's becoming difficult to accommodate." I'd been working there for 3 years, never missed a shift, never complained. "Is something wrong with my work?" "No, but we need reliability, consistency." I could feel my life narrowing. Work pressuring me, family pressuring me, basketball actively trying to push me out, everything squeezing tighter. I treated a college athlete's knee that afternoon. He was rehabbing from ACL surgery. Hopeful. Determined. "Scouts are sharks," he joked while I worked on his range of motion. "They smell blood in the water from miles away." I smiled like I was fine, like I wasn't bleeding out in my own life. That evening, my phone buzzed. Email from Mr. Grady. "I'll be at practice tomorrow. Don't let anyone intimidate you." Don't let anyone intimidate you. Like it was a choice, like I had power I didn't actually possess. I arrived early to practice the next day. The gym was quiet, just the sound of the AC and my footsteps on the hardwood. I heard voices from Coach's office. The door was cracked open. My stepdad's voice. "Just push Harper out. Make it uncomfortable. She'll quit if the pressure's high enough." My stomach dropped. This wasn't about basketball. This was coordinated. Coach's voice was quieter. I can't be obvious, not with scouts around, but I can make it impossible for her to succeed. Good, my stepdad said. We need the focus on family, on her sister. Harper takes up too much oxygen. Then my mom's voice joined in. We need the story to be about overcoming, about supporting the next generation. Harper's taking up space in the wrong narrative. I backed away from the door silently. My hands were shaking, not from anger anymore, from understanding. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This wasn't about my attitude or my performance. This was about control, about narrative, about making sure I failed so someone else could succeed. I didn't confront them. Confrontation would give them the scene they wanted, the proof of attitude they could point to. Instead, I started documenting everything. Dates, drills, comments, playing time, witnesses. I asked questions in front of teammates. Calm, professional, specific. Coach, can you clarify that rotation? I want to make sure I understand. Coach, what exactly would success look like in this drill? Coach, can you explain the criteria for moving back to first squad? I became impossible to label without being specific. And specificity was something Coach couldn't provide because his reasons were based on nothing measurable. Coach hated it. I could see it in his face. The tightness around his mouth, the way his jaw clenched when I asked simple, reasonable questions. At the end of practice, he gathered everyone at center court. We're doing something different, he announced. Team vote on leadership. I want you all to have a voice in who represents us. He was staring directly at me while he said it. The vote happened the next day. Coach made it public. Democratic, like he was giving power to the players, but everyone knew what he wanted. Who he wanted excluded. My closest teammate wouldn't meet my eyes as she voted for someone else. The girl I'd helped train, who I'd given rides to, who'd told me last month she looked up to me. One by one, they voted, following Coach's silent directive, choosing safety over solidarity. Coach announced the results with a smile. My name wasn't on the list. My mom clapped from the stands where she'd been watching, like it was a pageant, like democracy had spoken instead of fear. Mr. Grady sat in the same spot as before, writing notes, his expression unreadable. But he wrote for a long time, without looking up, like he was documenting something important. After practice, Coach pulled me aside. See, this is what I mean. The team doesn't respect your leadership. Maybe it's time to think about what's best for everyone. Including yourself, I thought, but didn't say. The following week, Coach finally played me. 5 minutes in a scrimmage. Just enough to say he'd given me a chance. I didn't waste it. I got a steal on the second possession. Clean. Textbook. Pushed the ball up the court, made the extra pass, got an assist, then hit a catch-and-shoot 3 from the corner. Nothing but net. The gym murmured, people noticing. Remembering I could actually play. Coach called timeout immediately. Pulled me out. See, he said sweetly, loud enough for others to hear. You can't handle pressure. You get one good sequence and think you've proven something. I'd barely been in for 2 minutes. Mr. Grady wrote something in his notebook, then closed it, put his pen away, like he'd seen enough. That night, my mom staged an intervention. She'd invited my aunt, set up the living room like a therapy session. My sister sat on the couch crying, not real tears, performance tears, the kind she'd learned to produce on command. Harper, we need to talk about your behavior, my mom began, about how you're affecting this family. My aunt nodded sadly. You seem angry, jealous even. Of what? I asked. Of your sister's opportunities, of the attention she's getting. My stepdad slid a piece of paper across the coffee table. We need you to sign this. I read it. A letter, written in my supposed voice, explaining that I was stepping back from basketball to support my sister's journey, that I recognized it was her time to shine. This is insane, I said. My mom's voice dropped, got quiet, dangerous. Sign it, Harper, or you're not welcome here anymore. The scholarship showcase arrived. The gym was packed with scouts, coaches, parents with cameras. I was getting ready in my car when I realized my basketball shoes were gone. The good ones, the ones I always kept in my bag. I called my mom. Did you see my shoes? Oh God, Harper, I must have accidentally grabbed them when I was cleaning. I'm so sorry. Accidentally, sure. My sister showed up at the car window, holding a brand new pair of shoes. Her size. Mom got these for me this morning, she said, not quite apologetic. not quite gloating. I played in borrowed shoes from a teammate. They pinched, slipped during cuts, made every move uncomfortable. Coach told me I could play. If I apologized publicly, for my attitude, for questioning him, for making things difficult. I didn't apologize. I played anyway. Mid-game, during a dead ball, Coach called the referee over, pointed at me, said something I couldn't hear. The ref blew his whistle, pointed at me, technical foul. Coach claimed I'd talked back, said something disrespectful during the timeout. I hadn't. I'd been silent, but the ref believed him, issued the technical. The crowd booed, not at Coach, at me. My mom put her hand over her mouth like she was shocked, like she couldn't believe her daughter would behave this way. Then she glanced at the booster moms, checking to see if they were watching her performance. Her disappointment. My sister took my spot immediately, jogged onto the court with fresh legs and shoes that fit. Mr. Grady stood up in the stands, started walking toward the scorer's table. His face was calm, but there was controlled anger in the way he moved, like a man who'd seen enough, who'd made a decision. He didn't come to talk to me. He went straight to the event organizer, spoke quietly, pointed at his credentials. The organizer nodded, made a note. Something was happening, but I didn't know what yet. The next morning, I got called into my supervisor's office at the clinic. "Harper, we received a complaint, anonymous, about aggressive behavior with patients." My blood went cold. "That's not true. I know your record is spotless, but we have to investigate. Protocol." I knew exactly whose fingerprints were on this. My stepdad had contacts everywhere. This was him trying to cut off my income, my independence. If I lost my job, I lost everything. The ability to pay for gas, for food, for the freedom to leave home if I needed to. The walls were closing in from every direction. That afternoon, my email pinged. Meeting request from Mr. Grady, with the athletic director copied. Subject line, coaching practices and player treatment review. My hands shook as I accepted the invitation. Meeting day. I walked into a conference room at the community college where our league was affiliated. Coach was already there, sitting confidently, like he'd been called in to receive an award. My mom showed up uninvited, walked in like she belonged, like she had every right to be part of this conversation. My sister sat beside her, trembling, but I couldn't tell if it was real fear or another performance. The athletic director was a woman in her 50s, professional, no nonsense. She opened a folder. "Coach Williams, can you explain the benching of Harper Weller? Your stated reason was attitude." Coach leaned back. "Comfortable. She's been disruptive, questions everything, creates tension." Mr. Grady spoke for the first time. His voice was calm, precise. "Define attitude specifically. What behaviors are you referring to?" Coach stumbled. The way she carries herself, the questions, has she violated team rules?" Mr. Grady asked. "Well, not exactly, but..." "Has she missed practices?" "No, but has she been disrespectful to teammates?" "It's more about tone." The AD interrupted. "Do you have any written warnings, documentation of these issues?" Coach's face was starting to flush. "I don't document every little. Any code violations," the AD pressed. "Not officially, but..." I slid my notebook across the table. Dates, drills, comments, witnesses, everything documented like a compliance report. Coach's face drained of color. The AD turned to my mother. "Ma'am, why are you here? This is a player-coach meeting." My mom tried to perform innocence, that confused smile she used when she wanted to seem harmless. "I'm her mother. I just want to understand." Mr. Grady interrupted gently. "Did you encourage this benching? Did you participate in decisions about Harper's playing time?" My mom laughed. "Too fast. Too loud." "Of course not. I would never." My stepdad, sitting in the hallway outside, heard the question through the open door. Thought he was helping. He stepped in and said, "It was for her own good." We all agreed she needed to step back. Silence. The room went completely still. The AD's eyes narrowed. "You all agreed?" My mom's performance cracked. My stepdad realized he'd said too much. My sister started crying, real tears this time, because she realized she'd never been the main character. Just a tool. A prop in someone else's scheme. The AD closed her folder. "Coach Williams, you're suspended pending a full review. This meeting is over." My clinic supervisor called that afternoon. The complaint was retracted, no explanation given, but you're cleared. Mr. Grady turned to me as everyone else filed out. "We're not offering you a spot because you're a victim. We're offering because you stayed professional when they tried to break you." I packed my car that night, not in secret, not in shame. I left a note for my mom. Simple, clean, I'm done auditioning for love. My sister found me in the driveway. Her face was blotchy from real crying. I didn't know it would go this far, she whispered. Yes, you did. Harper. I hugged her once, quick. Not mean, but not promising anything either. I won't carry hatred, I said, but I won't save you from the family system you kept feeding. I moved into a small apartment near campus housing, started training with people who respected effort instead of punishing it. The first day in the new gym felt different. The air was different. Nobody was sabotaging. Nobody was performing. Just basketball, just work, just respect. I stepped onto the court under bright lights, laced up my shoes that finally fit right, and for the first time in years, nobody asked me to shrink. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Text message. This is Coach's wife. We need to talk. I stared at the text for a long moment, debated ignoring it, blocking the number, but curiosity won. About what? I typed back. The response came quickly. About the other players he did this to. About the pattern. About making sure it stops. I sat in my car in the gym parking lot. Read her words again. This wasn't just about me. It had never been just about me. Coach had been doing this for years. Creating problems where none existed. Pushing out players who questioned him. Building a culture of fear disguised as discipline. And his wife had watched it all. Stayed silent. Until now. I didn't respond immediately. Needed time to think about what getting involved might mean, what reopening this might cost. But I saved her number, because some things were bigger than my personal peace. Some patterns needed to be broken, even when breaking them hurt. I walked into the gym where my new team was warming up. Coach, a woman this time, waved me over. Ready to work? She asked. Not ready to perform. Not ready to shrink. Just ready to work. Yeah, I said. I'm ready. Behind me, my phone buzzed again, but this time I didn't check it. Whatever came next could wait. Right now, I had a practice to dominate. And for the first time in years, that was exactly what I was going to do.